Good morning and welcome to the Growth Mindset Show. My name is Mahesh Chand. Um, if you are joining us first time, welcome to the show. If you are joining us, if you are a regular listener, welcome back to the show. My name is Mahesh Chand, and today we are going to talk about successful people, success traits, and if you are in software development, if you want to get to the next stage in your professional career, that's what we are going to talk about. We also have a special guest today. We are going to listen to the success story of one of our own in coming in the show. So, if you are joining us first time, just let me explain you a little bit what growth mindset is all about. Growth mindset is a person who thinks they can do it, they can achieve anything in their life. Um, and if you are first time joining us, you probably want to go back to our first previous shows where I talk about growth mindset versus fixed mindset. There are two kinds of mindset. One is fixed mindset, growth mindset. And fixed mindset, a mind thinks like they have certain abilities and they cannot do more than that. In growth mindset, person um, is he's thinking about, even though he has certain abilities to do things, but they can still achieve more, and if they can learn a lot of things. And that's what really we are all about here on, even on C Sharp Corner, is all about learning, growing. Either it's in programming or in career, getting jobs, finding a new company, and so on and so forth. This show is all about you. This show is about you, even though it's growth mindset. You can ask us any questions. Questions can be about your job, your salary, your project, community, anything. You can ask any questions. Goal is, by the time you are done watching the show, you should learn something today. So we break down this show into a couple of parts. First, today we are going to talk about top 10 qualities of successful people. So if you think you are successful, or you want to be successful, or you are going to be successful, look out. These are the 10 you know common features, qualities these most successful people have. And then in the second part of the show, we are going to bring our guest today, and you can ask any questions again to me, to guests. This show is every Friday 10 a.m. So if you think your friends, your coworkers, they can benefit from it, also let them know. We also love you to talk about this show, share on your social media, let people know you're watching it. If you have, benefited from the show, you thought you learned something from it, you want to share with us, definitely share with us. I see a lot of people have joined us already. I see Deepak. Welcome, Deepak and Ato. You guys are regular. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, so let's start the show today. Let me start with what are those top 10 qualities of most successful people, right? These are common qualities. It doesn't mean that all success people have these, but we will start with some of the common ones. First is goal oriented. So if you look at any successful person in life, they're very specific to the goals. They have their goals, they have their short term goals, they have their long term goals, they have their you know they know what they want to be in life. And you may say, oh, I don't know what my goals are. That's fine. It may take you time to figure out your goals, but you definitely should have goals. You should have goals what you want to do today. You should have goals what you want to do this week. You should have goal what you want to achieve in this month or even this year. And goals can be not just for work. It can be about your personal goals, can be your health goal, right? You say, you know what, I want to run by the end of the month, I want to run 3 miles. Or you say, I want to lose weight or gain muscle. Or you may even say, I want to learn some new programming or new skills or C Sharp 9. So it can be whatever. You have to have a goal. Goal can be personal, goal can be learning professionally, goal can be even at the job, right? One goal can be that you want to teach somebody something. So that's important. Is, or if you look at any successful people, they are goal oriented. They just don't do things and keep doing it without setting up some goals. Welcome back to the show, Sunny. Welcome to the Growth Mindset Show. Um, we are here talking about top qualities, top traits of successful people today. Number one is goal oriented. They are goal oriented. Number two, they are highly motivated and also energetic. That's important. If you look at any successful people, they don't just sit around, relax. They are very motivated, whatever they do. Okay. So they don't have to push themselves. They're already motivated. If you think you're not motivated, either you are doing the wrong work you're supposed to do, or you just are not in the right place or right company. If you are those three things, you have the right, you're doing the right thing you like to do, you are passionate about, you are in right company, and you are at the right place, chances are you will be highly motivated. You don't have to, nobody has to come and motivate you. So think about that. Third trait is driven. They are very much driven, so they exactly know their goals are right. They say, okay, my goal in my life is, say, I want to become a, I want to run my own company, or I want to become a, in next 2 years I want to become a software architect. They have the goal set, and they are definitely motivated because that's they want to do that. Now they are driven, so they are highly driven. They're non-stop, even though there are some, they may face some problems. They just continue going, doing the same thing again and again until they go to the place or the goal, they achieve their goal. Number fourth is focused. Focus is very important, right? And we all going through this whole pandemic right now. Especially, we are working from home. We don't, go to work anymore. Sometimes at home you are with family, kids, your dogs, pets, and so on and so forth. They still Successful people are still very focused. When they know their goal is this, even though they do other things, but they still know their goal is, and they end up making sure that they are not, you know distracted from their goal. They're very focused on that. And they don't do million things. Sometimes, I remember, I get sometimes we all get into these multiple things, like, okay, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this, but still you need to be focused on certain, at least certain goals. So that's how you will achieve those, in your timeline. Fifth one is, they never give up. There'll be chances, and I remember working with a lot of entrepreneurs. Remember working with a lot of senior guys, people who are running their own companies. They they you know they fail. They never give up. They continue doing that, whatever their goal is, and eventually you look at the history. I'll give you an example, right? Recently, I know in US everybody knows that Joe Biden is going to be the next president of, United States of America. If you look at the history, right, if you look at his life, he first time he ran for the Senate, he was broke. He has no money. So literally, they figure it out and they raise money from the community. That's how he became senator. Before that, when he was born, his father has no money. They were living in grandparents in some other homes. Then several times he ran for the president, several times in past, and he failed. And he has also tragedies. When he was young, I think he was around 30 some years old. First time he ran for senator, his wife and daughter died in car accident, and his two sons, they had really bad injuries. And I think later in his life he had some brain surgeries. And here we are. He's passionate. He found his passion. He found his drive. He found his purpose and goal in life. And here we are. He's going to be the next president. He's going to be the oldest president in the history of America. So point I'm making is, just because certain goals are not achieved in certain time, it does not mean you give up on those. And most of successful people, you look at history, look at, look at Bill Gates, look at even Steve Jobs. They failed several times. Apple was bankrupt. Even Tesla was recently bankrupt. Few years back, Tesla was bankrupt. Tesla was almost closed the doors. Then they somehow got, some loan, about, I think, about 30 million loan, and they end up becoming today's the one of the most valuable companies, and they are, the most innovative as well. So they successful people never give up. So with that, let me bring our guest, Vidya, to the show, and we'll talk about five more traits of successful people. First, we're going to introduce Vidya to the show, and then after we that, we'll take a break, and then we'll bring Vidya for the full show, and then bring have your questions ready. Well, Vidya,
Oh, hi
hey
there.
Vidya, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm very well. How about yourself?
Good, good. I'm here in Philadelphia. Today is actually a very nice day. It's going to be 62 degrees, nice and
Mhm.
sunny. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm in Redmond, Washington. It's always cloudy here, especially in fall season, and it's not going to be
Okay.
the temp. Yeah, it's not that chilly as it's in Philly, but yes, as you can see outside of the window, it's
I see
7:13
it's
a.m.
nice, nice sky outside.
Yeah, right.
So how are you? How are you dealing with COVID? Family, kids? How's everybody going through this and handling this?
It's tough, I think, in this unprecedented times of COVID-19. Everybody is going through some challenges in their life. For me, my daughters are 10 and 15, so they are on their own. School is online using Microsoft Teams. Everything is online. But yes, sometimes it's hard on them to figure out things. Technology breaks. Recently, Azure Active Directory broke, and then that made to the national news. And then, of course, everybody was impacted, right? So kids
Yeah.
have their own challenges, and then I am working from my office room, and then sometimes kids have their own activities which they are doing online. So it's going okay.
All right. All right.
So
So
it's
Vidya,
I
I
just
know
call it
you.
like if life give
Yeah.
you lemon, you make lemonade, right?
Yep.
So
Yep. See, that's how success people think. They take advantage of the situation, right?
exactly.
So Vidya, I know you for a long time, and most of people who are watching this show or watching us live, they come from a software background. They are programmers. A lot of them are like Indian background as well. Some are joining us from Europe, few people from US, but mostly in software development. um, I want to go back, and if you can share your story, like how you started from your career from your back in India, and then how where you are right now. And I know you are working with Microsoft right now. You recently joined Microsoft, so congratulations on your new job. So if you can run through, young guys who are watching the show, that how do you start your journey and how you come to US, and and how, and then I will ask you more questions during the show from there. So let's start with that.
Sure. So, first of all, thank you for congratulating me on the new job with Microsoft. But I will give you a quick rundown for the benefit of our listeners. First thing I want to tell is that whoever is graduating in the recent time, since this computer revolution took over in India, when I started, there were no computer science was not a thing. So I started back in 1995. I was doing my graduation. In those days, companies like AppTech, NIIT, all these companies were coming. They were computer institutions. They were the first one to launch computer training in India. And then I also just dived into that. I was interested in that. So I started learning computer with one computer center. And then I started slowly teaching there as well. And then I did certification in Oracle from IIT. And I think that pretty much resonates with what you were talking earlier about the growth mindset. What I think I was good at, or maybe fortunate enough, or I had that thinking that I always knew what is next I want to do. So at very early stage, I recognized that, okay, what are the new technologies coming? So in those days, back in 1998, 1999 timeframe, uh, there was no .NET. It was still in inception phase. It got launched in early 2000, and that's where I joined with .NET Beta Stream. But then I did Oracle certification from IIT. Then I did some jobs here and there in metro cities. Then I got an opportunity to go to Indonesia. There I was leading the entire .NET platform for a company, and then some education involved in that. And then I came back to India. I joined a company in Bangalore. Then I moved to Mumbai. But I continued at that time, I continued working uh, with the technology as it grew. So .NET was the one, and I was always fascinated by Microsoft. So I picked .NET and Microsoft as my base technology, which I really wanted to invest into and build my career upon. Uh, so I worked in Microsoft .NET for quite some time. But here is a twist. After that, uh, in then I worked in Mumbai. I worked in US in Microsoft for 4.5 years. Then again, I chose to go back to India, Mumbai, and then again I came back in 2014. And in 2017, I was offered a position as a principal architect in T-Mobile. T-Mobile is one of the largest telecom organization in United States of America, and that company projects themselves as a software company, which is a very good thing. Uh, and I will tell you why I said that. Uh, but many of you will be surprised to hear T-Mobile does not use .NET technology. They are not using Microsoft at all. But when I joined them, my entire experience was in Microsoft technology. Now, many of you might be surprised that why would a person take such role and at a senior level position, which is principal architect, in a company which is well established, and why did they even hire that person who has no background in the technology they were using, right? So there is a
Right.
catch. So, like what you were saying earlier, growth mindset is also coming out of your comfort zone. So when I started interviewing, and I want to give a few tips as well, that always you need to know where you are going and what is the job description, and then what that company is asking for. So I knew that in their job description, there was no Azure. It was all AWS. There was no C Sharp or .NET. It was Java Spring Boot, which is a microservices framework. It was completely Angular. There was no MVC. However, MVC is a pattern, but it was not a .NET Core MVC or .NET ASP.NET MVC. Of course, HTML was there, TypeScript was there, but we were using things like Docker. There was no Azure DevOps, or if you guys know, Visual Studio Online was the first name, then Visual Studio Team Services, and now we call it Azure DevOps. There was no such thing. It was Jenkins. Now, if I map to all these things, what I have always been focused on, that do not just go with the technology. DevOps will continue to remain DevOps. CI/CD pipeline will continue to do the exact same thing what they are supposed to do. However, your technology of choice may change, right? So you can use ARM templates, you can use Terraform, you can use something else to automate your infrastructure, or anything for that matter, but concepts will stay the same. So I always strengthen on my concepts and how do we implement it. So when I landed in T-Mobile, in my last round of interview, one of my interviewer who was a tech leader there asked me that, oh, your background is completely in .NET, but I hope you know we are a non-Microsoft company. I said, yes, this is fine because there is no difference between Java and C Sharp. And not only I said that, when I got an offer, I got selected. I was grateful for that opportunity. I thank God for that. And then when I joined, believe it or not, within first month, I was able to start doing code review, find the gaps, find the anti-patterns, suggest some strategies, become an active code reviewer with our developers, started working with them. If there were any areas of improvement, started suggesting those. Means that did not stop me, that Java is the technology. I installed IntelliJ, WebStorm, got the repos from Bitbucket, all that stuff I did. And recently, after working with T-Mobile for quite some time, I learned a lot. Recently, on September 21st, I joined a Microsoft Azure team as a principal software engineering manager, where I run um, a platform architecture team for our platform, which we offer to Azure customers. It's called Services Hub, and that's where I am now. I will take a pause now.
So
If
that's
there are any
great. No,
questions.
that's great. So we I think learned a lot of things from this talk, and you definitely mentioned that the growth mindset is all about the mind that's willing to learn new things. Okay, I still talk to people. I talk to my teams. I work in different teams, and I say, did you do this? Like, oh, I don't know that. Like that's fixed mindset. Always assume that I cannot learn that. I because I don't know that because I never nobody told me that. So if you are thinking that way, that means you're fixed mindset, and you want to become a growth mindset. You need to change your habits, and it's not impossible to change that. Welcome to the show again, guys. I see some new people join. Our regulars, Nancy, Rakesh, Megha, Chaman. Welcome to the show. I know you guys join us almost every week, so good to see you back again. Today we are talking to Vidya Vrat Agarwal here. Vidya is a senior architect manager. Sorry, I messed up your role. They are at Microsoft, engineering manager at Microsoft. Vidya is also a several times Microsoft MVP, probably 15 now by now. How many times MVP?
7 times, Mahesh.
7 times Microsoft MVP. And I believe you have also written several programming books, mostly on .NET, and then you are also a frequent speaker at conferences, events, and you give back to a community a lot. So I want to go back to a little bit more, talk about some things you have. I know you for several years now. I know you speak at the conferences. I know you have written programming books. So let's start with that. How did you get into writing books, and how the process work?
Okay. So, just to clarify, my role is Principal Software Engineering Manager. I know it's pretty long, but that's my official title with Microsoft as your team is. So, a few things. I don't know. I mean, I would say don't write books because somebody has written it or you think there is a lot of money. That's the first thing. You need to find your motive first. Okay. My situation was always different, and I'm sure many of you have it. So it was like a natural instinct in me that always I knew that I want to write book. Always, I have one old notebook where I have written some goals that what I want to do, and I'm very grateful that many things which I thought and I continue work towards it, and I was able to achieve those. So, and it's very easy. You can, I mean, recently I declined to do a technical review of a book. Uh, Actually, two books. I declined technical review for two books. One was with Packet Pub, one was with A-Press, uh, for some different reasons. So, if you want to write a book, first of all, uh, writing is not something that you can always copy paste, because if you're writing for a big publishing house like Mahesh did, when before I started writing, I was reading Mahesh's book on VB.net. You can see those books sitting behind his racks. And at
Yep.
that time, even I didn't know Mahesh personally, to be honest. I got to know Mahesh in 2013. That's where first time we met. Then he invited me to his C Sharp Corner conference. That's where I spoke in Noida. And since then we are friends. I live in Seattle. I met Mahesh in Philly as well, where he lives. So so you learn first of all from some people who has done it. They sort of become your inspiration, right? So I knew that okay, Mahesh is an Indian guy. He has proved himself. I started reading his book. But even before that, I was always interested in reading books, believe it or not. Okay. So first thing is if you want to write, you cannot be a good writer unless you are a great reader. You need to read a lot to write. It's not because you can copy paste, you can steal the ideas. You need to know how people think, how a writer think. You cannot just go on internet and say, okay, copy this from here, paste from this here, and then put it there. All these companies run plagiarism tools. They can even sue you if they want. They can blacklist you, and you will never be able to author anything with them. They will blacklist you in the contract list for any initiatives you take with that organization, right? So I authored 5 books with A-Press. I have done over a dozen technical reviews for different authors in Packet Pub, O'Reilly, and A-Press as well. So it started back in 2005. 5 6 time frame, I was in touch with A Press. But even before writing book, I was writing articles. So you have to have presence. Like Mahesh has given a huge platform, C Sharp Corner, to all the aspiring people today. Even if you don't want to write book, but you want to start something on your own, you can write articles there on your blog on C Sharp Corner, and that brings millions and millions of views to your work. You will not get millions of views. What I mean is that it will be exposed to millions of readers, and then they will filter what they want to see, right? Like for my work on C Sharp Corner today, it's approx 8.5 million. I think I'm in top 50 now. I'm not very active, but yes, I'm still maintaining that position, right? So what happens is you start reading, you start writing, and then slowly you reach out to people. Okay, can you help me to make some introductions? But I will only make introductions once you have proven out yourself. If somebody is reaching out to me without their blog, without their original work sent to me in an email, I will be very hesitant to make any introduction to any publishing house, right? So you need to prove yourself first. That's the first thing. But I think when Mahesh asked me how did I do it, so I got in touch with A Press. They asked me some of my sample work, and then I got connected with a person who was writing a book, and then I got engaged with that person, and then I took the book for my first book, C Sharp 2005 database, beginning with C Sharp 2005 databases. I did that book. I did a couple of conversions of the books from C Sharp to VB.NET, where I was not the main author, but I was the author of that book, which I translated completely from C Sharp to VB.NET. And then I did a couple of more books in the latest version of C Sharp. And side by side, I also started asking for work for the technical review. If you go to any book, there is always a technical reviewer outside author. So I did that. Now, other advice I have for you, which I got from my first person in A-Press um, who gave me the first book. His name was Jim Huddleston. May his soul rest in peace. So that gentleman told me that Vidya, if you want to write book, first of all, don't think that you are going to be a millionaire. The reason I'm saying that is many people, many friends of mine at the early stage, when somebody was meeting me, they will say, "Oh, this guy is a very rich guy. He has written 5 books. He must be having hell of the money." But this money thing is, what do you call riches? I was listening to Bob Marley, who is a very famous singer, um, and composer and music writer and all that stuff. Somebody was asking him that, "Oh, are you rich?" He said, "How do you define riches?" So everybody has different definitions. So if you ask me, am I a millionaire? In Indian currency, yes, maybe I am. It's only 10 lakh rupees, right? But I mean, just take your mind away from that millionaire concept, okay? Think about how many published authors do you know, right? Who has written one, two, three, four, 5 books consistently, one after another. That means you did something right. Then only that organization continued giving you books. So my focus was not on money, first of all right? But I will be honest, when time came, I negotiated. I said, okay, give me some more. If I can squeeze a little more. That's a human nature, which is fine because you are being professional. They will of course offer you little less, little more. But these days they are very strict. So I got some money, which was the advance royalty. Means you write the book, you give them 3 chapters, they will give you, let's say, $1,000. Then you write another 3 4 5 chapters, they will give you another $1,000. And then book has $12, you got, let's say, 2,000 $3,000, right? That is your advance royalty. That's a reward that you did something. Now the book will be published and you sit quiet, you get no money at all. Now that book will start selling at the rate of 10 $12, whatever their price is, and you will get fraction of that. That is coming back towards the money which you got. Now you will not get anything until those 2,000 $1,000 has been recovered, because it was your advance royalty. So it was not a straight money given to you. So I did not pay attention to money, first of all. My focus was that, okay, I want to be there, I want to write, I want to feel good. Somebody told me long ago, or maybe I read it somewhere, I forgot, that there are 2 type of income. One is your monetary income, the money, the green money, US dollars, green, right? In India, we have colorful money like pink, purple, uh,
Purple.
orange, all that color, right? Money has color, right? The other income, which I really believe in, is your psychic income. How you feel, how that thing will uplift you and bring more opportunities for you, right? So after that, I got into technical reviewing with A Press. I said, okay, I have kids now. I am not in mood to write more books because it's so much time consuming. And I can tell you, it takes time like hell from you. It sucks all the time out of your life when you write books. And I have written five, so I know how it works. I can give you a rundown if somebody wants to know. Reach out to me, hit me, or maybe I can write a complete. Mahesh has written articles on C Sharp Corner about it. If you want to reach out to me, I can talk in greater length about it as well. So I did technical review. That started paying me a little bit, a few dollars here and there. And then now I do even free. Nobody pays me, but I still do technical review because I have mastered the art. I know what to look for, and I'm very quick with that. But still, it takes time. So connect with those people who has done it. Ask them how to do it. Many times people ask, "Can you get me a book?" That's not the right question to ask. You also need to learn as a growth mindset person how to ask questions, right? So you need to say, okay, here is what I have done. I want to be a writer. Could you please review my work and suggest any changes, anything I need to improvise, and if possibly, could you please recommend me to a publishing house? And I have done it for few people. I have recommended them. I don't know where they went because after that I take out myself. It's between the company and the person. Mahesh, I will take a pause now. I don't know if
Yeah,
I.
so guys, definitely, Vidya, definitely great story how to get published a book. Again, as Vidya said, when you're writing a book, don't write because you think book authors make a lot of money. Especially these days, books don't sell a lot. Printed books definitely don't sell a lot. When I wrote my books, yeah, we were selling a lot. We did, I made a lot of money from those books. As in the beginning, I wouldn't say a lot, but at that time it was a lot. um, but again, writing is a you have to kind of enjoy writing. That's the only way you can come. You have to be natural at it. But one thing, not one thing, few things I really learned from writing books was, which was really good for my career as well, is like being a me from a non-English medium background. It helped me learn English. Number one, it helped me write English better. It also gave me a concept of being disciplined, because writing book is a lot of time. During that time, it took me my year and a half to finish my first book. And there's so many revisions, and you know how it is, the editorial process. They will find so many errors, and then you have to redo again. And when I was writing a book, Microsoft wasn't sure what features will be in version 1, and they keep changing every 2 weeks, and you have to recompile the code. It wasn't like today where automatically you get software updates. So you know how it is. It was a hectic process. But those that experience taught me how to be disciplined, how to be focused. Actually, also writing actually helps you become focused as well, because when you're writing, you're in writing mode, you don't hear anything. And I remember I had like a 6 months old son. He would be crying and I would not hear it when I'm writing. So anyway, guys, we are with Vidya Vrat Agarwal. Vidya is a old friend. He's a published author, Microsoft MVP. Has been architect for several years now. Bring your questions. Any questions you have, ask me or Vidya. Any questions? I see few more people joined. Vinay, well, good morning and welcome to the show. We are going to take a 1 minute pause and we'll be right back. When we come back, we are going to talk about five more traits of successful people, and then we will continue talking with Vidya and listen to other stories he has to share with us. Again, any questions you have, feel free to ask your questions about growth mindset, about success, about career, about job, about salaries. You can ask any questions. We'll be right back.
Here at Mindcracker, we create artificial, virtual, and mixed reality games and apps, voice-enabled skills and apps, and intelligent apps, and integrate AI with IoT products. We offer advisory services for innovations and startups. We provide cloud and code security and performance services. We also offer AI/ML blockchain development, consulting, and training. Just visit www.mindcracker.us to make your dreams into a reality. COVID makes us feel like this, and work from home like this. But what if work looked like this? With a leader like this, and a payday that feels like this. Learn how to change your mind and your mindset with the Growth Mindset Show every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Welcome back to the Growth Mindset Show, guys. If you are joining us first time, this show is every Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Um, we are today here with Vidya Vrat Agarwal. I'm sure some of you already know Vidya from C Sharp Corner. Some of you probably have read his books and he's published author. And we are also talking about top 10 traits of successful people. We already covered five of our traits. We covered goal oriented. They're highly motivated, driven, focused, and never give up. The next, which is next trait for successful people is risk takers, courage. They are courageous, right? So if you look at any successful people, you look at their history, how they became what they are. They take risks, right? I see a lot of people, and even Vidya, you mentioned that a lot of people don't want to take the risk, right? They just want to live in their own comfort zone. So if you live in your comfort zone, its chances are that you're not going to grow much. You're not going to go to the next step. This is how it is. Um, if Vidya, on these, we are going to talk about these. If you want to add any more to these, just feel free to jump in. But I agree that you cannot live in a comfort zone and also expect that success will come to you. Success is there somewhere. It's out there. You have to just go and get it, find it, work hard for it. Nobody's going to come and give it to you. So you got to take risks sometimes. It's fine to take risk. As Vidya mentioned, that his whole background was .NET, and then he became this architect at T-Mobile. He ended up learning AWS, learning Java, learning so many new technologies. So you got to, and that's the concept behind growth mindset, is you are willing to learn. And once you say, I'm going to learn that, there's nothing you cannot learn, especially in software development these days. There's so many resources out there. Vidya, you're mute, by the way.
Yes.
You want to add something to that?
So, yes, many people always ask that how do I become a software architect? So you touched on something which I always believe in, is that if you really want to be a software architect, you learn to be courageous, like risk taker and courageous. Risk taker does not mean you break customers' architecture by taking, you know, known risks. Like I remember when I was architecting a solution back in 2007, 16, 17, for a customer uh, uh, in US, that customer wanted the greatest and latest. All right, and hear me out. Um, there is an anti-pattern in architecture which is called shiny toy. Means never architect a solution for a customer, and the customer which is into the business to serve customers, not for a proof of concept purposes. Do not
Yep.
use shiny toys. In those days, .NET Core was evolving in 2017. It was like early 2017 sort of time frame. And I was standing there in their leadership. I said, no, I will not suggest you guys to go with .NET Core. The reason is it's still evolving. It
Yep.
has not proven it out. So my concept with architecture for a customer facing platform, portal, tech, whatever you are offering, APIs, microservices, is always stay N minus one. So if there is .NET 5, stay 4.6 or 4 for that matter, right? The reason is there is enough community support. So you need to be courageous to say those things. You need to be courageous to say what is the right technology. You need to be courageous and risk
Yep.
taker to take your chances and suggest what is in favor of the customer, right?
Yep.
So
Agree.
these things I just wanted to bring from my professional experience regarding what Mahesh was touching base upon, is risk taking and being courageous.
Yeah. And then welcome, Amit. Welcome to the show. We have two Amits here, and I think we're going to take a question here. Vidya, is actually this is questions related to you. Is I think Amit is asking what exactly about what actual work is done by principal software engineer, which you are. I think you're principal software engineer manager.
So first of all, if you take a principle out of it, okay, let me give you a little bit uh, rundown about these titles. So if you take principal out of it, the remaining part is two words software engineer, right? So everybody is actually a software engineer. I am still a software engineer. That's what my breed is, right? But this senior, associate, many companies have associate, right? And then principal, and then some companies have different labels after that. All these are different titles, different labels, the stages, but your foundation is still software engineers, right? So the thing is, what they do, I will come to that. First of all, try to master your craft. Okay, I always use a word, craft. All right, you need to be passionate about your craft, like I am. Okay, I'm passionate about my craft. I know what I'm doing. I know what I want to do, and I want to see the same in others as well, which is very hard at times, and that is totally understandable. No hard feelings, but that's how I want to go with other people as well, and I expect that. But as I said, it's not possible. Every human is different. So principle is just a label, and principles reflect more leadership, more coaching, more mentoring, working with people, taking people together, and leveraging on strength of others and letting others use your strengths, right? So
Okay. Yep.
these sort of leadership traits come with the label what principal has in many organizations. So my title at Microsoft is a principal software engineering manager. It's a people manager role. It's a heavy on technology side. I lead a platform architecture team for Azure CXP, which is Customer Experience Group. I hope I answered your question. But if
Yeah.
you are really interested in this principal thing, if you go to LinkedIn or any job website, you will see these job titles. And if you put two left and right, you can compare both the job titles, what traits they are looking for. But you will find something similar what I just sort of described.
Yep. All right. So let's get back to our, traits for being successful people. If you have any again questions, again Vidya is available on Twitter as well as LinkedIn. Feel free to follow him and connect with him on LinkedIn and Twitter. Um, so number seventh, and I want to finish these four more traits of successful people, and then we will take break after that, and we'll come back with more questions and answers. The number seven is accept failure, or they take accountability, and which we see often is that you look at the leaders, and most successful people, they are good leaders, right? Good leaders take accountability of their failure. They are not like somebody in our, some president where he for you only take that take credit for good things and not for bad things, right? So if something is wrong, most successful people, they accept failure, and they even take accountability for their team's failure as well, and that's how they make them successful people also are leaders. They make people believe in them, right? That's how you want to add something to that.
No, I think you said it right. It's all about, when I was with T-Mobile, we had a T-shirt printed with something like "We build it, we own it." So our T-shirt had some logo, and then on the back we had "We build it, we own it." Means so that failure thing, that thing will never come in any individual if you don't believe you own this, right?
Yep.
So once that feeling of ownership comes in you, if you would just think that you are an employee who is taking salary every month, salary is crediting into your account, you are just fine, chill out, then that's not going to take you anywhere. All
Yep.
right. I'm sure many of us have that mindset. But since we are talking about mindset, I think that word will keep coming here and there. And
Yep.
everything starts from here.
Every thought
Whatever
from
you
mindset.
can, yeah, whatever you have here, it will come down. So, so just start to take ownership of things. And I can share some more stories later when
Yeah.
time comes.
So we
But
will
I
do
agree,
it.
Mahesh.
Yeah. The last half we will do is all, take more questions and share more stories. And I have some questions for you too. So, and then number eight, the number eighth quality is they're adaptable. Adaptable is means just because one thing doesn't work, they pivot and they learn from things and they change. They're not really stubborn. They're not really, they learn and they're flexible, right? Um, and besides this, there's two other properties. One is they're good listeners and they are good communicators. Without being a good communicator, it's hard for you to actually tell people what do you mean, what are you trying to say, what you're trying to do, and they listen to people. They even look at your Steve Jobs. He always says that they hire smart people so they can understand and listen to them to build better things they're trying to build. You want to add to that, Vidya?
No, you finish the 10th one, then I will take some time to cover.
All right. So great. So what we will do is now that's guy. We're going to take a 2 more minutes break, and then we'll be right back. And then what we will do is we will take your questions. I have some questions for Vidya. So if you have any questions about career, jobs, even community writing, anything you have, a Microsoft MVP question, we will take some questions. Atul, I see you. Welcome back to the show. Sean, I see you. Welcome to the show. We will take your questions right after this break. We'll be right back.
Here at Mindcracker, we create artificial, virtual, and mixed reality games and apps, voice-enabled skills and apps, and intelligent apps and integrate AI with IoT products. We offer advisory services for innovations and startups. We provide cloud and code security and performance services. We also offer AI/ML blockchain development, consulting, and training. Just visit www.mindcracker.us to make your dreams into a reality. Hey guys! Can't believe we haven't seen each other since graduation in May. What's going on?
Not much. With the pandemic, I can't really do anything right now.
Me too. I mostly just stay at home, hang out with my dog, and watch the news.
I feel you. Have you guys been able to get jobs yet?
Funny that you ask. Gary and I actually have been working on something together.
Yeah, we came up with an idea for a startup that's an app that will help us stay active since we both have been sitting around so much during this quarantine.
That's genius. I could definitely use something like that. When are you guys launching it?
Well, that's the issue. We don't really know how to build it, so we're kind of stuck.
I know of this company that does startup advising if you guys are interested.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're called Mindcracker, and they'll help you validate your idea and connect you with angel investors and help you build everything from your product MVP to your technical team and even your go-to market planning and execution.
Wow, that's awesome. Do you know how we could get in touch with them?
Yeah, you can just visit their website, mindcracker.us.
That's awesome, May. Thanks. I'm excited to get started on this.
Of course. Good luck, guys, and let's talk soon.
Thanks, May.
Welcome back to the Growth Mindset Show. Today I'm here with Vidya Vrat Agarwal. My name is Mahesh Chand. I'm here from Philadelphia. Vidya is here. He's in Seattle, close to Seattle, Washington. Works for Microsoft. Today we are talking about growth mindset and what are the different traits of successful people. So Vidya, let's take a couple of questions, and I think they are questions, and then we'll continue asking. More conversation.
Sure. I see this
So
question from Atul on the screen. Is that okay if I
yep,
take that one? It's from
yep.
Atul Sharma. Does a technical architect need to be a technology agnostic? So this is a very good question, first of all, okay? And I would say if you are not a dev and you want to come out of it, you need to learn to be technology agnostic. The reason is you cannot always talk in terms of one technology. At T-Mobile, I will give you an example. We were having hybrid architecture. Our UI was in Angular. We were using Google Cloud, which was Apigee Gateway for our proxy. And then everything was in AWS. Then we even had some microservices running on on-prem data center that was in PCF, Pivotal Cloud Foundry. I already gave you 3 cloud environments named by now, right? And then we had some in Azure as well, in some other teams, not in my team particularly. So if you see, if somebody says, oh, I only master one, then how it is going to happen? But at the same time, this master may not be the right word. Don't try to master it. The reason is, if many of you have asked that question in many forums, is that how to become a software architect or technical architect or whatever is the title, solution architect. Like my title was principal architect. Just keep it software architect for that matter, to keep it simple. I gave a complete talk on it. You can search it on my LinkedIn. How to become a software architect. So architects are always T-shaped. If you see how T is drawn, T has that long bar at the top and then one line in the center. That means is architects have the equal breadth and then they have some depth. So my depth is in server-side technology, right? I am aspirant of clean code, best practices, guidelines, software architecture, microservices, all these sort of things. You can be having depth in, let's say, UI technologies. You know a lot about React, Angular, JavaScript, and whatnot, right? Somebody can be having depth in DevOps. Somebody can be having depth in networking. And then your breadth means you can talk cross-cut across the software layers and different technologies. So yes, you have to be technology agnostic. For example, you are talking to a customer, that customer's background is in AWS. You cannot keep telling them VM, virtual machine. They will understand it. But if you say EC2, that is Elastic Compute Cloud, that's what Amazon AWS calls a virtual machine, it will resonate better with them, right? If you want to call, let's say you say, okay, don't worry about your multi-region, we will put a traffic manager in the middle. Traffic manager is sort of a load balancer which routes traffic coming from a customer to the nearest region of that cloud provider. Amazon doesn't have that term. Amazon calls it Route 53. So if you know these basic things and you are technology agnostic and you know a little bit about the other competitor provider or the technology used, then you are always having an edge on advantage when you are talking to a client or to a dev or to anybody for that matter. I hope I answered your question.
All right, so let's take one more question from Sean. Sean is asking how can we take our career to the next level. I believe Sean is a developer.
All right, Sean. So that's a great question as well. However, I don't necessarily understand what do you mean by next level. Next level could be you want to do more in your career or you want to go to the next promotion level. The only thing I have is I think growth mindset covers it all. Ownership is one, uh, first of all, and then uh, once you
Well,
start
let's
taking
let's take
ownership,
an example. Let's say you want to become from, you are a developer and you want to become a tech lead.
yeah, that's
Just to
perfect.
put in
And
perspective,
Sean, please put your clarification in the chat window. I
right?
apologize if I'm not getting your question clearly because I see it's a little bit abstract. But please put more information in the chat window, and I'm watching the comment section. So it has happened with many people. Okay, I have worked in many organizations, and many people will go in a review and they say, okay, they did not promote me. They didn't make me an architect. I am still a tech lead, or I am still a dev. They didn't make me team lead.
Yep.
I will tell you just one thing, okay? And remember it. It's a very powerful thing I'm going to say. Always remember what got you here won't get you there. I will repeat it one more time.
Hmm.
What got you here won't get you there. If you became a developer in a company, you are never going to be a tech lead if you continue doing the same thing. That's what this means. What got you here won't get you there. Means you need to do something extra. Now, that extra, many times people think that it will just happen out of the blue. My philosophy of work has always been when I join an organization, I always try to look up to the next level. I'm not in rush to become that person, but I want to know what my leaders are doing. How do they think? I sat one-on-one with them. At T-Mobile also, I had a couple of mentors. I always look for mentors. I talk to them. I understand how they think. What is their trait? What are the other big things they are doing? Right? So always, if you want to be a tech lead, already learn what tech leads are doing. I'm not saying many times you will find in many companies that they are not doing anything different. Then find what that gap is. How do they think? How do they talk? What sort of responsibilities they take? And then slowly put your foot into those areas as well. Means you need to prove yourself, right? That you can do it. And once you are already doing it, when you go in your review or your leaders see that, oh, you are already performing at that level, means you are good to go for that. Many times we think You give me that job designation first, then I will start behaving or performing at that level. But in many companies, it doesn't work that way. You already have to start performing, then that they will give you that job designation or level. I
Yeah,
don't know
and
how
to
helpful was that.
yeah, I think that's good, and I can add some to that. Is it's basically, as you said, with you watch what everybody's doing and learn from them, and then also be available to do more, right? Companies wants to see, or people wants to see that you are not only responsible, but you can take on more than what you're already doing, right? um, I always tell guys, don't find a company that give you just enough job. Find a company or a bad boss that gives you more job than you can handle it, because that's what make you your mind, like your mindset, again back to the growth mindset. If you already start working hard when you are young, then eventually it's going to become your habit, and you are the main person who is going to actually benefit from that, no matter where you go.
Mhm.
But if you are just doing as much as you are told, or you are just doing that you're supposed to do, you're not gonna nothing is gonna change. So besides the what are you doing, also go and learn new things, right? So in your company and discussions, there may be discussions about new technologies or new features or new products, and you may be the one who only knows that. For example, in a meeting, if your boss asks you about blockchain and nobody knows, and you are the only one who knows about even though a little bit, guess what, he's going to next talk to you.
Mhm.
So you have to kind of go out of your way, learn new things, and be in the discussions and participate. uh, all right, that's great. So let's take one more question from Mega. We only have 1 more minute left.
So
So,
Mahesh, I will take this question, and then there is a question which Deepak has put long ago at the
okay, yep,
very beginning of the show. I would like to take that as well before we end the show.
yep.
So, Mega, it's sir, how can I improve my coding skills? So, coding is all about practice. First of all, I would say do not try to memorize the language. Try to focus on grammar, right? Like if you want to learn English, for example, what do you do? If we just only learn the phrases, then you know where we are. But if you learn the grammar, how things fit in, then it's a different ballgame altogether, right? So try to learn the grammar, means the syntax, what new features are coming. You do not have to necessarily install every new version of the technology. At times, it's very hard. These days, there are tools available. If you are working on .NET, there is a .NET Fiddler website available. It's an online compiler which shows MVC, model view controller. You can put code there. It shows HTML and all that stuff, and then you can run it then and there. So try to focus on that. Stay in the core of object-oriented programming. How I was able to do it at T-Mobile without having any working background or like hands-on experience like I did in C Sharp, .NET, in Java, because I focused on the grammar of the language. When I landed there, I knew if this design is properly following solid design principles or not, right? Solid stays the same thing. It's object-oriented design principle. And then I focused on those things and found gaps. So I hope I answered your question at the higher level. Mahesh, do you mind if I take Deepak's question real quick?
No, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So Deepak has asked that he is watching the session along with his friends. There you go. How we detect that we are at the right place or wrong. So I will leave you a book title here. It's a very small book, hardly 39 pages. It has immense value. The book title is Who Moved My Cheese? Read that book if not already. Uh,
What is
again,
the book called?
I will repeat it again. Who moved my cheese? It's a very
Who
famous
Moved My
book.
Cheese?
It's a very famous book. So
Okay.
what he is asking is, how do you know if you are at the right place or wrong? So what defines what is right place, right? So for me, right place is where there is an opportunity to grow. For me, right place is where when I wake up and get out of my bed, I look forward to go to work. Right places where I enjoy working with those people. I like my boss who gives me enough opportunity to grow, who gives me enough playground to play and do things. That does not mean that I'm in .NET, Azure, and he gives me blockchain project. Maybe I'm not interested in that, right? But different ideas, right? Don't take it in the wrong direction. So read that book. I think that will answer your question to greater length. But for the sake of time, I will leave it there.
Well, I think we are kind of out of time now, but this was a great session. And again, guys, thank you everybody for joining us. I know I saw a lot of guys coming back every week. It is nice to see you again. And Vidya, again, I know it's too early there. It's like almost you start at 7 a.m. I can't be up at 7 a.m. So, but you are like early riser, So, thank you so much again coming here and sharing your experience with all of us, and these guys. And I hope everybody enjoyed it. Any last word you want to say to everybody?
No, I think first of all, I want to thank C Sharp Corner for hosting these events. These are very good. I hope people who will listen later will be benefited. In C Sharp Corner, there is a career section where you can go and ask questions. You can hit Mahesh or me on LinkedIn or whatever, and we can either do some other sessions. Mahesh, keep inviting other leaders. If you want to grow, I would say listening to others is very important. Listen to other leaders. I'm still learning. I'm a constant learner. Uh, and just do good wherever you are. And always remember that the harder you work, luckier you get. I also recommended a couple of books. So go through those, send me note or messages if you need anything or Mahesh, and we will see how we can answer your specific questions. And thank you so much, Mahesh, for having me. And I hope
All right. And thank
I
you
was
all,
also
guys.
helping you.
No worries, no worries. And thank you, everybody behind the scene, guys, and guys on social media. Everybody, thank you so much. And we will see you next week.
Thank